Hi everyone. I'm happy to say that from a long period of time I was thinking that I will share my knowledge on in the form of video about the how we can be able to create some application using using the LangChain or similar type of framework. And now finally I've decided there is no new date. Basically, we have started from today. So yeah. So before going to deep dive, so basically it's a LangChain series. So where we are going to discuss more about how we can be able to create the agents using the LangChain. And before going to start with what is the LangChain, so I will explain little bit about the concept, what is the LangChain. So before that, let's start with some problem. So basically, when we will look for some tools, something like uh, Chat GPT or something, Chat GPT, Copilot Studio, Gemini, or something like that, then what is happening? So basically, we insert the prompt, and on the behalf of that prompt, we are getting the output, right? So in behind the scene there is a LLM. In behind the scene there is a LLM that and we are sending the prompt to the LLM, and on the behalf of that it's a the output is appearing on our end. But it is not so simple when we are going for creating our own application, RAG based application or agent based application. So it is not so simple. So how it work? And basically the LangChain or such types of frameworks, there are multiple frameworks in the market, but the LangChain is the most popular one. So with the help of these tools, we can be able to uh, connect with LLMs, and uh, on the behalf of that we can be able to connect with the LLM and retrieve the uh, we can be able to send the prompt, our own prompt to the LLM, and on the behalf of that we can be able to retrieve the output from the LLM side. So how we can be able to do these things? So for that purpose, I have created such 6 layers for the LangChain, and I'm explaining in the more details. So for that purpose, I'm switching to my screen and explaining one by one. So yeah. So basically, now I am switching to my screen. So this is the deck that I have created. So in this case, basically, for understanding or not only understanding, for the development purpose, I have divided the LangChain in the 6 layer framework, and these are the frameworks. So basically, if you come from top to bottom, if you come from top to bottom, mm, sorry, if you come from top to bottom, or you go from bottom to top, just like here. If you go from bottom to top, bottom to top, bottom to top, yeah. So these are the building blocks. These are the building blocks. The first one is the core building block. Then after we go for the orchestration, then for the knowledge, this is the intelligence layer, this is the system design, and last one is the ecosystem. So we will go one by one. So basically in this video, I am going for the introduction purpose. Okay, what are these, and how it will help for creating our LangChain application inside a LangChain. Uh, and then after we go for each module, for each layer we go for one video, and where we are going to explain the things. We will write the code, execute the code, and see the things, how the things are working. Okay, so at first, uh, go for this one. This is basically, this is the introduction layer. uh, so why the LangChain? So basically when we are going for the LLM call, so in the normal way, I'm just sometime back I have explained that is in the normal way when uh, a user basically send the give the prompt, it go to the LLM and we retrieve the response. It is the normal way for calling any when we are communicating with any chatbot. Chatbot mean to say either we go for the chat GPT, Gemini, or anyone. So this is the normal process. But when we are going for the creating some application, so it is not so simple like this one. So uh, basically, in that case, we need to manage the reusable prompt. We need to manage the multiple model calls. Which model should we call when, and do we need to go for a specific model, or based on our requirement we need to switch the models? We need some external database or some external sources, or we need to completely depend upon the LLM. We have some other tools or APIs that we need to integrate with our agent or application. Uh, do we need to maintain the memory? What type of a memory we need to uh, contain with that one? Uh, how we can able to track these things? So basically, which LLM took how many tokens, such types of things. So how we can be able to manage those things. So for that purpose, these are the challenges. These are the challenges, and to handle these things, we have discuss about the whole layers, right? So we will go one by one. So now what is the LangChain? So a LangChain is a framework or the set of abstraction for building the application around the language model, right? About the language models. So suppose I have an application which contains the UI, front end, back end, and it contains some business logic, right? Now it's my normal application. Now I want to integrate this application with the LangChain framework. So in that case, I will include models, I will include prompts, I include the runnables. What are the runnables? That we will discuss more about this one. Retrievals, tools, or agents. These are the terms for now. Um, just memorize these terms. We will discuss these terms also further, right? Then after, this is the ecosystem. This is the ecosystem where we have LLM, we have vector store, we have databases and API and tools. So if you if we this is the important point. So our LLM is sorry, our LangChain is not the model, but also it help us to build the application that use those models, right? So LangChain is not a model, but also it helps the model, it helps the application to connect with those models, and based on that it can be able to give the proper response, right? So this is the important point. Now this is the same layer that on the introduction page I have explained, that these are the core building blocks where we are talking about the model, prompt, and parser. What are these? I will give the introduction when we are talking about these core building blocks. Then is the orchestration. So in case of the orchestration, uh, basically when the LangChain has been developed, these are the scatter format. Scatter format, that is the there are multiple classes, and when we have to call one class, then we need to load the whole packages or something like that. So something like that, right? So uh, this is the orchestration layer. So where we are talking about LCL concepts, runnables, and compositions. And this one is knowledge system, right? So in case of the knowledge system, we are providing some knowledge to our LLMs, just like we are providing the RAG, we are providing some embedding. We will discuss about the embedding also, and this is the vector DB. Intelligence layer, where we are just giving the tools some intelligence. some intelligence. Not only it does not contains only the power of LLMs, but we are providing some external power also. So if my LLM has some power, so we are just multiplying those powers with the help of tools, agents, or memory. System design. So basically, on this layer, we are just going for the architecture, scale, cost, or security. We are discuss about this. And ecosystem. This is the final layer where we are just going for the LangGraph, LangSmith, and deployment part. How we can be able to deploy the changes on the production, and how we can be able to create a production-based application. So if I'm talking about, this is the foundation layer about the core building block. uh, Orchestration, this is the composition block. Knowledge system, mean to say knowledge. And intelligence layer, where we are providing uh, our uh, mm, our system more capability, more power than than it has with the help of LLM only, right? And this is the production and the ecosystem. Now, now we are I have almost explained all the things on the introductory part, but here we will go once again so that we do not miss any concepts. So this is the core building block, and inside the core building block, I have mentioned that there are three things, there are three major points that, where we need to focus about the model, the basically it's a brain of the system, right? uh, where we can able to chat, where we can able to talk about the language models, where model providers, model there are multiple model providers like Azure OpenAI, Gemini, uh, ChatGPT, Anthropic. There are multiple model selections. How we going to select the model? So basically, we can be able to think like who does who is doing the reasoning and generating the response. So we can able to consider this one like this. Then after, go for the prompt. So where we are just defining the task and context, what we have to achieve, what are our goals, and how to achieve that one. Here we are deciding that one. So here giving the system instructions, user inputs, prompt templates, everything we are doing here, right? And parser, inside the case of the parser, we are just whatever the response that we are getting from the model side, we are just representing on user side. It may be in the text output format, structure output, or validations, whatever the data we need to represent on the user side. So this is the final thing that we have on this layer. We have model, prompt, and output. Now go for the next layer where we are talking about the orchestration with the LCL. So in this case, on the previous layer, we have three things: model, prompt, and parser. Now, if you are going for using the concept of LCL, then in that case, using we do not have to manage a lot of things if you are going for the concept of the LCLs. And if you're going in case of the LCL, everything is runnable. So my prompt is a runnable, my model is a runnable, my parser is a everything is a runnable. Whatever the resources or whatever the things that we are write inside the in case of the LCL concepts, everything is runnable. So then in that case, and in case of LCL, there are multiple runnables. Uh, Runnables like the runnable branches, runnable lambda, runnable pass through, runnable parallel, runnable sequence. So this is the basically the example of the runnable sequence. So here the output of one output of one, we are taking it as the input of the second. So output of the prompt output of the prompt goes as an input of model, and in output of model goes as a input of parser. So this is the flow. So it's something like this pipe operator, this pipe operator this pipe operator you can be able to consider it, this pipe operator you can be able to consider it as Yeah, and this pipe operator, you can be able to consider it as a Unix pipe operator. Just like inside the Linux, we are using the pipe operator. It is working similar to that one. Now, now the second layer is the knowledge system layer, where we are providing apart from the LLM, it has a resource from where the data is uh, data is getting data is generating. We can be able to provide some documents. We can be able to provide some documents or some other things to the LLM, and based on that we can be able to providing some extra knowledge to LLM, extra knowledge to our system, our extra knowledge to our application, and on the behalf of that we are making our system better than before, right? So so in that case, how it works, so base in the case of we are giving documents to the system, we are basically we are saying that we are loading the data into the system, document into the system. Then after we are splitting that document, we are embedding those documents. What does my mean by embedding? We will discuss when we go for the knowledge system. We will do for the practical implementation how we can be able to split the data, how we can be able to embed the data, and how you can be able to store inside the vector DB. What is the vector DB? We will explain these all the things when we go for the that 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 layer. Retrieval. Retrieval mean to say, in simple word, if I'm talking about when we are fetching this data from the vector DB, then in that case we are saying that this is the retrieval operation. And what are the role of LLM in that during this process? So so these are the things that we have explained here, uh, that we need to focus here. So core concepts. So inside the basically inside this one, the documents will be loaded, text will be splits, whatever the contents of those documents, that will be splits. Then we convert into the embeddings, and after converting into the embeddings, we are storing inside the vector database. How we can be able to do practically, we will implement when we go for the third layer. Retrieval mean to say when we are fetching the data from the vector database. Simple term. Why it matter? So basically it providing some private knowledge. uh, Now this is our fourth layer, and it is the fourth layer, that is the intelligence layer, where we have some extra power apart from RAG and everything. We have some more extra power, and it contains the tools, agents, and memory. So if I am talking about the tools, what are the tools and what are the agents and what is the memory part? So tools tools are the basic, the helping hand for the system. Assume that one. The tools are the simply the helping hand for the system. Agents agents uh, with the help of agents, the model decides what to do, right? With the help of agents, model decide what to do. Mean to say, it is the brain of the system. It is the brain of the application. It decides what to do. So you can remember the tools as the helping hand of the system, application, agents as the brain of the system. On the behalf of that, it decide what to do, and this is the memory. Basically, it's giving the context. Okay, at this point of time, or this in this state you are here, so you need to move some further, right? So, and this is the loop when user uh, user gives a prompt to agent, give two prompts to agent, then that agent, or basically it's a basically we are giving to the brain of the system, and brain instruct to the tool. It's basically the hand of the system. This tool orchestrate, observe that, or observe the to the things, then it gives to the agent. So basically we can be able to say it's like a react agent. And what are the react agent? It's basically something like a loop. And what are the react agent, we will discuss when we go for this layer. Now this is the uh, this is the system design. So basically here we are talking about the orchestration, scalability, how we can be able to increase, how we can be able to manage the latency, how we can be able to manage the cost, how we can be able to manage the data security. So this is the system design layer. And final layer, that is the LangChain ecosystem, where we are managing we, here we can be able to say that our application has been developed. Now we need to make the production deployment, and during the production deployment we need to also understand that how our system is working. So for that purpose, we will go with the LangSmith or LangFuse. There are multiple such types of tools from which we can be able to manage our, we can be able to observe our system. LangGraph. So basically, LangGraph, we can be able to say that when we are going for the multi-agent system and where the application is more complicated, then in that case, LangGraph is more popular, most popular thing. Okay, so yeah, so this is all about these 6 layers that we will go one by one from the next videos. So that we can be able to cover all 6 layers of the LangChain, uh, and it will be friendly. It will become very easy if you go one layer by layer and uh, explain the things, and we will when we will go for the practical implementation, then you will become more and more clear about the things. Okay, so yeah, so this will be our learning journey. So this is as a introductory video where we explain the things, how we can be able to how there are we can be able to define the whole concept of the LangChain inside those 6 layers, and um, 6 layers, and what is the basic introduction of mm, these layers. I have explained one by one. Now from the next one, we were inside the next one we are talking about this layer, and we will go for some practical implementation. We will do as much as practical implementation so that we can be able to uh, clear all the concepts uh, that coming from these layers. Okay, so this is all about today's. uh, we will continue from tomorrow, yeah, tomorrow, for this layer, and we will discuss more about these things. Till then, bye. If you have any queries about this one, so you can add inside the comment, and inside the next video also you can be able to add inside the comment, and I will go by one, so that if and I will try to I will try to uh, cover as much as possible during this session. Okay, thank you.